If you are over 40 and thinking about getting back into exercise or starting for the first time in years, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is believing that your body now needs extreme workouts, punishing routines, or complicated training methods to get results. In reality, after 40, the best exercise plan is usually not the one that looks the most intense. It is the one that helps you build strength, protect your joints, improve balance, maintain muscle, support your metabolism, and keep your body moving well for the long term. Because after 40, the conversation around fitness changes. It is not only about looking fit. It is about staying capable. It is about protecting your legs, your back, your balance, your posture, your energy, and your independence as you age. Muscle mass tends to decline gradually with age, especially if it is not challenged. Joint stiffness often becomes more noticeable. Recovery may take longer. Sedentary habits start to show up more clearly in the body. And if exercise has been missing for a while, the body does not just need movement. It needs the right kind of movement. That is why in this video, we are not talking about flashy workouts or social media fitness trends. We are talking about the 5 best exercises to start after 40 if your goal is to move better, get stronger, reduce stiffness, and build a body that still works well 10, 20, or 30 years from now. And stay with me until the end, because the 5th exercise is one of the most important, yet one of the most ignored, especially by people who think walking alone is enough. Let's start with the first exercise. The first exercise is the squat. Now, that does not mean you need to put a heavy barbell on your back on day 1. For many people over 40, the best place to begin is with a bodyweight squat, a box squat, or a sit-to-stand variation from a chair. Why is the squat so important? Because it trains one of the most basic movement patterns in daily life, sitting down and standing up under control. That may sound simple, but it matters more than many people realize. Every time you stand up from a chair, get off the couch, use the bathroom, or lower yourself and rise again, you are using a squat-like movement pattern. The squat helps develop strength in the legs, glutes, and core. It also helps support knee function, hip mobility, and balance when done correctly. And after 40, those things matter. If the legs are weak, if the hips are stiff, and if the body loses confidence in basic movement, daily life becomes harder faster than people expect. A proper beginner squat does not need to be deep or dramatic. It needs to be controlled. Feet about shoulder width apart, chest lifted, hips moving back and down, knees tracking in a natural direction, and the body rising with control, not momentum. The goal is not to perform a perfect athletic squat on day 1. The goal is to restore a useful human movement pattern. The second exercise is the hinge, especially in the form of a hip hinge or beginner deadlift pattern. This is another movement that matters enormously after 40 because it teaches the body how to bend and lift safely. A lot of people overuse the lower back and underuse the hips. They bend poorly, lift carelessly, and eventually start saying things like, "My back always feels tight," or "I threw my back out picking something up." In many cases, the body has simply lost strength and skill in the hinge pattern. A hinge means learning to move from the hips while keeping the spine organized and the core engaged. It trains the glutes, hamstrings, and posterior chain, which is one of the most important muscle systems for posture, walking, lifting, and protecting the lower back. A beginner version might be a wall hinge, a Romanian deadlift with very light weight, or a kettlebell deadlift from an elevated position. The reason this exercise is so valuable is that strong hips protect the back. People often think they need more stretching when what they really need is better movement mechanics and more strength in the muscles that support the spine. After 40, that becomes even more important because many people are sitting too much, moving too little, and slowly losing the strength that keeps the body stable. The third exercise is the push movement, especially the push-up or an easier pushing variation. Now, many adults over 40 hear push-up and immediately think, "I can't do that." But remember, the exercise is not the ego version. It is the correct version for your level. That might mean a wall push-up. It might mean an incline push-up on a countertop or bench. It might mean a machine chest press. It might mean modified push-up progressions. What matters is the movement pattern. Pushing exercises help strengthen the chest, shoulders, triceps, and core. They also help support the ability to push yourself up, stabilize the upper body, and maintain general upper body strength. This becomes especially relevant with age because upper body weakness often goes unnoticed until it starts affecting daily life. Carrying objects becomes harder. Getting up from the floor becomes harder. Posture begins to collapse forward. Confidence in movement drops. A good pushing pattern helps reverse that decline. It also gives people a practical way to train strength without needing an advanced gym program. And one reason I include it here is that many beginners focus too much on cardio and not enough on strength. But after 40, strength is not optional. It is protective. The fourth exercise is the row. This is one of the most important exercises for posture, shoulder health, and upper body balance. If you spend a lot of time sitting, driving, working on a computer, or looking down at your phone, your body tends to drift forward. The chest gets tight, the upper back gets weak, and the shoulders may start rounding inward. That is where rowing becomes so important. A row trains the muscles of the upper back, rear shoulders, and arms. It helps pull the body back into better alignment. It supports posture. It helps balance out all the pushing and sitting that dominate modern life. You can do rows with resistance bands, dumbbells, cables, or machines. The exact tool matters less than the principle. Pull with control. Squeeze through the upper back. Avoid shrugging everything into the neck. And focus on quality, not speed. Why is this one of the best exercises after 40? Because a strong back supports better posture, safer shoulders, and more confident movement. And posture is not just aesthetic. Posture affects breathing, shoulder function, neck tension, and the way the whole body carries itself. Many adults over 40 say they feel stiff, heavy, or compressed. Often, part of that is weakness in the muscles that are supposed to hold the body upright. The fifth exercise is loaded walking, often called the farmer's carry or simply carrying weight while walking with control. This may be one of the most underrated exercises for adults over 40. Why? Because it trains the body in a very real-world way. You pick up weight, hold it safely, walk with posture, stabilize your trunk, use your grip, and coordinate your whole body under tension. That makes it incredibly practical. Farmer's carries help train grip strength, shoulder stability, core function, balance, and walking mechanics. They also teach the body to stay organized while moving under load, which is exactly the kind of physical ability people need in real life. Think about carrying groceries, carrying bags, carrying laundry, moving objects around the house, walking with confidence and stability. These are not small things. They are daily life fitness. And after 40, exercises that support daily life performance matter a lot. You do not need to walk with huge weights to benefit. Even moderate dumbbells or kettlebells, carried with good posture, can create a powerful training effect. Stand tall. Keep the ribs controlled. Avoid leaning too far to one side. Walk slowly and steadily. This kind of exercise looks simple, but it teaches the body to be strong in motion, not just in place. Now let's step back and look at why these 5 exercises matter so much together. The squat trains you to sit and stand well. The hinge trains you to bend and lift well. The push trains upper body strength and pressing ability. The row trains posture and pulling strength. The carry trains real-world strength, stability, and coordination. In other words, these are not random exercises. They're foundational movement patterns. And that is exactly what many people need after 40. Not random punishment. Not trendy workouts. Not endless cardio with no strength work. What the body usually needs is a return to the basics, done consistently. Now, there are a few common mistakes people make when starting after 40. The first is doing too much too soon. People get motivated, try to train like they did at 25, get extremely sore, irritate a joint, or burn out in 2 weeks. That is not a strategy. That is a setup for quitting. The second mistake is focusing only on weight loss. Fat loss can be a goal, but if you ignore strength, mobility, posture, and consistency, your body may become lighter without becoming more capable. The third mistake is relying only on walking. Walking is excellent. It supports circulation, endurance, mood, and general activity. But walking alone does not do enough to maintain muscle, strength, and structural resilience as you age. That is why these 5 exercises matter so much. They give the body what walking does not fully provide. The 4th mistake is training through pain without adjusting. Mild effort and challenge are normal. Sharp pain, worsening joint pain, or movements that clearly feel wrong should be respected. Good training is not about ignoring signals. It is about working intelligently. And the 5th mistake is inconsistency. The best exercises in the world do nothing if they are only done once in a while. After 40, consistency usually beats intensity. 2 or 3 solid sessions per week, using foundational movements, can change the way the body feels far more than occasional extreme effort. So, what does a simple beginner structure look like? You might do squats, hinges, pushes, rows, and carries 2 or 3 times per week, with manageable resistance and good form. You might combine that with daily walking, some mobility work, and enough recovery to let the body adapt. That kind of plan is not flashy, but it works. Because the goal after 40 is not just to exercise. It is to build a body that stays useful. A body that can get up easily, carry things confidently, protect the back, support the knees, stay balanced, hold posture, and keep moving well for decades. So let's bring it all together. The 5 best exercises to start after 40 are the squat, the hinge, the push, the row, and the carry. Together, they train the body in the ways that matter most for strength, function, and healthy aging. If you are starting later than you wanted, that is okay. What matters is not when you should have started. What matters is that you start in a way your body can actually sustain. Because after 40, the right kind of training does not just change how you look. It changes how you move, how you age, and how much freedom your body gives you in everyday life. If this video helped you, subscribe to Body Signal for more practical videos about strength, mobility, healthy aging, and simple exercise that actually makes daily life better.